Angela and local radio station Mandatory FM introduced me to Ricky Sorrells. We had a drink at the local bar where he agreed to meet with me the following day.
All these aircraft in the area, they wouldn't normally be flying.
They told me that Ricky had seen a lot more than lights in the sky.
Hey, we can close that door, kiddo.
I used to think that people that saw this and came on camera and said this kind of stuff, I thought, man, these guys need some help, you know? But it happened to me, and I can't change that. I had a hard time dealing with it, but...
So you looked out all the way in that direction, you didn't see the edge? Looking up, Ricky said he could not see the edge of the craft in any direction. You couldn't see the edge of it?
Couldn't see the edge of it. But I do know this, it's bigger. You could have landed an airplane on that, I believe.
God, it's an incredible story.
Nothing, no sound, no when it was hovering, nothing when it moved from left to right, and nothing when it took off. And
holding his rifle and sometimes actually looking through his scope, Ricky stood under the craft for about 3 minutes.
I don't know if you've ever been in that situation, but
no, I certainly haven't.
I've been in it only very few times in my life, but I had to slow my mind down to actually think about what to do with it, the information that I was receiving for the first time. And that's what I did. I studied it. You know, I seen no nuts, bolts, rivets, seams, no welds, none of this. It looked like a piece of sheet metal. You know, it wasn't shiny. It was a dull, I don't know what you call it, matte finish maybe. And this is what I had a hard time with, was if something was to leave, in my mind, it should pivot up and go, like an airplane would. This did not do that. This stayed completely flat, and it went at a 45-degree angle away. And it took off at such a high rate of speed that no way I can describe it as if I would have blinked. I would have thought it just disappeared.
On January 21st, 2008, Robert Powell and Glenn Schultz received radar data from the FAA. This image was created directly from that data. Each black dot, and there were over 140, represent radar confirmation of an unknown object whose flight path is seen heading towards Crawford Ranch.
I just want to know what it is. You know, why was it here? What was it? Is it ours? You know, that kind of thing.
Although the military initially denied being in the area, the official explanation from the Air Force is now a flight of F-16s. After each witness I meet, I find it increasingly difficult to accept the military's response.
I've actually stepped back and tried to view the big picture. I would like to find out what it is. And if people believe me, okay. If they don't, that's okay too. I'm gonna take you. I know we're gonna lose a little light here. I don't really want to rush y'all, but I really want y'all to see. I really wish y'all would try to see it how I thought. And yeah, I wish I had no. So I've got a deer feeder back in here, and I got a little 12 deer. I'll go back here and clean the bunch out, but I'm coming down through here and I start looking for deer back in the brush. There's no leaves on the trees now, and so you can see pretty good ways back in there. And so I've got my head down looking, you know, I'm hunting yet, and I'm trying to be as quiet as I can. And I know that sometimes there's deer in the feeder around this corner, so you know, I'm trying to sneak up here and be quiet, and I'm not. I've got big feet and I'm crunching leaves. And but I'm trying to be quiet. And we come up here to right here, and I see there's no deer underneath the feeder. And so at this point, I'm thinking, I can either go down into the woods, or I can go back to this fence line. And I've had a bunch of new deer coming in, so I wanted to see them. And so I thought, well, I'm going to go back to the fence line. So I'm thinking about all this in between here and the feeder. And I know I'm losing light, and I don't want to get deep into the woods. So I'm not walking back to see this stuff. I'm so used to walking through this stuff so quick, though. You feel the briars. I'm getting here, and all the leaves, you know, it's crunchy. They were even crunchier because they just fell. And so I'm trying not to make a lot of noise because I know the fence line's right over here. And I'm trying to get to a good spot to start kind of, you know, view what's coming. And I'm pretty camouflaged up, you know, so I'm feeling pretty confident I can get right over there and do this. So this is not where it starts. Use these briars here. And I get to these briars. And I'm looking still back in here. And as I'm looking, it's trying to be quiet, I get totally up in these briars. I got a loaded gun with me, you know. So I'm trying to be safe. And when I get to here, after getting tangled up through all this, I realize that, you know, I've been too noisy. So when I get to about right here, I'm thinking, I'm going to slow down and stop and let everything settle down. And I'm still moving. So when I did that, I looked up like this, and I got to about here, and then I realized what I saw, you know, computed in my brain. And I ended up right here. And this is where I saw that. I looked up, and I seen the thing right here, the cone. And I got chilled, you know. But I had so much information going through my head. My brain just sort of kind of walked up, you know. It just couldn't compute it all. So I actually had to make myself get all that out of my head. And I had to think, you know, okay, let's just study it. You know, that's the only thing I need to do. What is it? I'm here. And apparently I've walked underneath this thing at this point. And it's as far as you can see left, right, and straight ahead. And I'm underneath it. And, you know, I put my gun up. I couldn't see through my scope because I'd been hunting out of the deer stand and had it on 9-fire. So I turned it down to 3-fire. I picked it back up. And I can see, you know, a bunch of things. The haze sort of kind of coming off of it, which after you look at it for a minute or so, it dissipated. You can see through it. It's like looking at a fish through water. When you first look at a fish in a fish tank, you notice the water. But after you look at that fish a while, you forget the water's there. If that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. I took it off of safety, and I thought about shooting it. And this thing's so big and so huge that, you know, I thought, man,
it might shoot back.
Yeah, I'm
fall on you.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know. I mean, all this is boom, boom happening, and you know, and apparently I wasn't going to do no damage to it if I did hit it, which I would have hit it.
Ricochet back on your ass.
Yeah. So I pull my gun down. I'm studying. You know, I keep thinking study it. And so that's what I do. And there's a cone right here through this tree. There's one cone there, another one. I don't know, 35, 40 foot over. There's another one, you know, and they're spaced out equal, like in a grid pattern. These cones go up, and they're bigger at the bottom, and they're you know, half the size, maybe a little less than what the bottom was. And I'm guessing 8 to 10 foot deep. You know, I'm noticing how high it is. All this is happening. And I used to work at the elevator, the drain yard for my dad in high school. And that's a 100-foot elevator. So the rest of my life, I've judged everything in 100-foot increments. So I put 1 grain elevator, 2, and 3. And that's how I came up with 300 foot. You know, so I'm sitting here studying this thing, and you know, there's just no sound, no heat, nothing. I mean, it's as still as it is right now, right here. I mean, it's just.
Did you make any gestures or yell at it or?
No. You know, I'm still studying. I'm still computing all this. So I'm sitting here and I'm looking at it, and the cone that's here, it starts moving to the right. So that, you know, then my view widens in a way, I guess. I was paying attention to the big part of it instead of just that cone now. And it moves off about 100 to 150 foot. And at this time, I'm thinking in my mind, well, now I got to be able to see the edge because it's moved. So I never took my eyes off of it. I went like this again. And looked back and thought about the tree through there, and I could not see the edge of it.
And this is with no leaves.
With no leaves. Just bare trees. And, you know, so I'm standing here, and I come back to where that cone was at, and I come back to that cone that was here, and is now over here. And I'm looking at it, and it's sitting there, and it's like it's letting me study it. It wanted me, I guess, I don't know. And I'm starting to, you know, maybe get a different style of thought process. You know, I'm not sure it's all happening. And I never was scared. I was calm. I wanted the biggest thing I can get off to y'all is my thought process. You know, it's for some reason it's very important for me to tell y'all about that. I feel. But I'm watching this thing, and all of a sudden it doesn't do this to leave, which when it did leave I thought was different. It does this at an angle. It stays flat and it goes away. You know, it never made a sound, never
Stays
nothing.
flat and moves up horizontally.
At a 45-degree angle. You know, like this.
It didn't tilt. It doesn't tilt.
Didn't tilt.
At a 45-degree.
No, it did not. It was like this. It was like sitting here, you know, and it goes quite away. And, but that happened so fast that, did you hear the turkey? Anyway, that happened so fast that if I hadn't had my eyeballs on it watching it, I would have thought it vanished, but it didn't. I seen it move and go, you know, and, you know, after that happened, my next thought process, my next thing that I can remember, which I had no lapse in time or nothing like that I know of. Anyway, I was about halfway back to the deer feeder, and I'm going, what just, you know, what just happened? So, I remember thinking, back up to the house a little bit past where it was, no sound.
No whoosh of the air.
No whoosh of the air. Nothing of that nature.
Do you have any strange dreams before or after?
No, not really.
No illness, no dizziness, nothing like that.
Now you said that the stone part inside was about, you said 150 feet laterally. And how far apart did you say that you thought the cones were on the ship?
35 to 40 foot. I'll put a semi-trailer in between them, you know.
So that means so like 2 or 3 other cones must have passed over you while that one was moving, right?
Well, I had my eye on that one.
Yeah.
You know.
So you don't know if any others came overhead?
Could you see the top of the cone?
I
Or
could.
did it just, was it pointed or was it flat, like on Linda Moon House?
It's flat.
Okay.
But to answer your question is, you know, I paid attention to that cone. I kept that in my focus, you know. And it's just like if you walk around this corner right now and you run into a bear, you know. I mean, you wasn't expecting it, it happened, and the thought process, or my thought process in my mind goes from doo-doo to boo-doo, you know. And I always have to calm myself down, you know. And that's just how I'm built, I guess. I don't know. But, you know, that's what happened. That's
Rick, you want to show them where you found that round?
okay. Linda Moulton House came to stay with me for about a week, 3, 4, 5 days. And so she came and did an interview right here with a camera. So we were sitting there talking, and instead of going back through this way, and she, you know, she's been out before, but she's a smaller, petite frame lady, so I thought it might be easier to go back this way. And I told her, you know, at this time I'd already had these people coming up. And I said, there might be a track up here where the woods and the fence line meet, because there's a bare spot, and that's where I always look for deer tracks. And so if somebody came through there, there had to be a boot track. So she said, sure. So we take off and we go this way. And she had this on video. I just got here yesterday.
Boat cab?
Yeah.
That surprised me when I saw him coming into the frame. I'm like, what is that?
But anyway.
This is a neat place you got over there.
It's all about beautiful. Back down in there.
Can I build a house here?
When Linda Moulton Howe and I got up here, there was a track right here. And as we was walking up, I said, there's a track. And I was thinking of finding one up there. But there was a boot track right here. And she said, well, yeah, she's been, you know, tuning in on the thing, dialing in on it with her camera. And she said, put your left boot up here, Rick, so we know how big it is, a judge. I said, okay. So I did this, and when I did, my big clumsy butt, so I kind of tripped. And as I was bringing my head back up, the sun was shining through those trees, and I noticed something shiny. And I kept looking at it, and I said, there's something on here. So she stayed here filming it, and I walked over here, and this is where I found a live 25-06 around right here. And what was it? Rifle round, a 25-06, and
It hadn't been shot.
hadn't been shot. You seen it? I busted it open in front of you.
Right.
And she got all this on video that unraveled. And you know, you just have to see the video to see it. But I don't know how many of y'all know the story about the guy coming on my place. You know, I'll show you all that, and then, you know, that's the deal. But anyway, you know, was it from him? I'm betting it was, because I know my place very well. I know he was coming in now hunting. Nobody has a 25-06 that I hunt with, or just basically a couple guys that were here, you know, and they never come back to this spot anyway. My stand is here, and we always come through here and go back pretty much.